We were happy, or so I thought. Looking back, it's amazing how easily we deceive ourselves. We had built a life together, two souls intertwined, dinners for two, laughter echoing in our home, shared dreams whispered under the covers. He was my confidant, my lover, my best friend. We were a team facing life's challenges hand in hand. Our love, a beacon of warmth in a cold world, or so I believed. He would leave for work each morning, a quick kiss goodbye. I'd wave from the doorway, watching him drive away. Then I'd start my day, the house filled with the echo of his absence. Now I realized those empty spaces were filled with another. I was blind, lost in the illusion of our perfect life. The signs were there, lurking in the shadows, but I chose not to see them. Ignorance, as they say, is bliss. It was a Tuesday. I remember it vividly. The air was thick with the promise of rain. He had called, said he'd be late. A work dinner, he explained, his voice a little too smooth. I didn't think much of it at the time. He often worked late. It came with the territory of his high-powered job. As I ironed his shirt, a flash of crimson caught my eye. A lipstick stain, a shade too bright to be mine, marred the crisp white collar. My breath hitched. A cold dread spread through me, slow and insidious. This was not my lipstick. The world tilted on its axis. The truth, ugly and undeniable, stared back at me from the mundane fabric. Denial. It's a powerful drug. I tried to rationalize the lipstick stain. Maybe it was a client, a colleague, anything but the truth. But deep down, I knew. The evidence, though small, was damning. It chipped away at the foundation of our marriage, leaving cracks in its wake. The walls of our home, once a sanctuary, began to feel like a prison, closing in on me, suffocating me. I waited for him that night, a knot of anxiety tightening in my stomach with each passing hour. When he finally walked through the door, the scent of her perfume clung to him like a shroud. He looked at me, his eyes filled with a flicker of guilt that confirmed everything. In that instant, a part of me died. The woman I was, the woman who believed in forever, ceased to exist. The confrontation was brief, brutal. His words, hollow apologies and flimsy excuses washed over me. I had expected anger, rage even. Instead, I felt nothing but a bone-deep weariness. What was the point of fighting? The truth was out, laid bare in the cold light of our shattered reality. The silence that followed was deafening. We sat there, two strangers in what was once our haven. He packed a bag, his movements mechanical, devoid of emotion. I watched him go, my voice trapped in my throat. He didn't look back. And with that, he was gone. No grand pronouncements, no tearful goodbyes. Just an empty space where he used to be. The silence he left behind was deafening, filled with unspoken words, with the wreckage of our shattered dreams. The days that followed were a blur. I moved through life in a daze, numbed by the shock of it all. The house felt unbearably empty, haunted by his ghost. Every corner held a memory, a cruel reminder of what we had lost. The silence was oppressive, broken only by the ticking of the clock, marking the time since he left. I found myself going through the motions of my life, a pale imitation of the woman I once was. Work became my refuge, a place to escape the suffocating silence of my own thoughts. Yet, even there, I was haunted by his absence. The world seemed to move on, oblivious to the pain that gnawed at my insides. Section 6. Betrayal's bitter aftertaste. Betrayal. It's a bitter pill to swallow. It leaves a sour taste in your mouth, a constant reminder of the wound that refuses to heal. How could he? How could he betray the vows we made, the life we built together? The question swirled in my mind, offering no solace, only deepening the chasm of my pain. Friends and family rallied around me, offering words of comfort and support. But their words seemed hollow, unable to penetrate the wall of grief that I had erected around myself. I was adrift in a sea of pain, clinging to the wreckage of my shattered dreams. Section 7. Picking up the pieces. Time, they say, heals all wounds. But the healing process is slow, agonizingly so. It starts with a single step, a conscious effort to claw your way out of the darkness. One day I woke up and decided I was done being a victim. I was done letting his actions define me. I began to pick up the pieces of my life, shard by painful shard. I started small, focusing on the things that brought me joy. Long walks in nature, losing myself in a good book, reconnecting with old friends. Slowly, tentatively, I began to rebuild my life. Section 8. A glimmer in the darkness. The pain didn't disappear overnight. There were still moments, fleeting but sharp, when the grief would wash over me, threatening to drag me under. But I learned to ride the waves of sadness, to allow myself to feel the pain without letting it consume me. And slowly, ever so slowly, the darkness began to recede. I rediscovered my strength, my resilience. I learned to find joy in the simple things, to appreciate the beauty that surrounded me. The sun still rose each morning, painting the sky with hope, and in its warmth I began to heal. Section 9. Finding strength within. His betrayal, though devastating, had inadvertently set me free. Free from the shackles of a loveless marriage, free from the illusion of a happiness that never truly existed. I was no longer defined by his actions, by the label of abandoned wife. I was a woman reborn, forged in the fires of adversity. The road ahead was uncertain, but I faced it with a newfound sense of purpose. I had survived the storm, and in doing so, I had discovered a strength I never knew I possessed. The future stretched before me, full of possibilities, and I was ready to embrace it, one step at a time.